Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Combo number 2. I'm Tom Flores.
And I'm Travis, a comic book fan, or at least I think so, that happens to think this movie sucks.
All right, and obviously today we're talking about Batman vs. Superman,
Dawn of
Justice.
Justice League Part 0.
Now, we're going to just start off by when we first heard about this, we weren't all that thrilled. We liked the idea of Superman and Batman, who I think we can all, in the most, agree that in every comic book genre, whatever it's Marvel, DC, or independent for comic, these two are the icon of what a comic book hero is. These guys
These two are
they're the comic book gods.
They are the most iconic superheroes ever.
Mm-hmm.
Throw Wonder Woman in for the
Trinity,
female audience for good measure, and the Trinity, which you always got to have in a Justice League comic, I feel.
But other than that, though, it's like it's great to hear that these were making together, but as each trailer came out, teaser to the full length ones, it wasn't from the get go. I feel going into this, I wasn't saying going into this I came in ready just to destroy, but going into this I didn't have any expectations because it didn't excite me because the movie looked bad and ended up, in our opinion, really a bad film overall. Not just a bad superhero movie,
just a bad movie.
Yeah.
And I know there's the defense. This is what's been pissing me off more than the movie. The movie didn't actually make me angry. What's been making me angry is when I see people that are saying, "Oh, well, if you're a comic book fan, then you love the film," which I find that actually very insulting. See, for me, I consider myself a comic book fan because right now I'm reading like 8 different titles. And I read them in trade paperback because I feel like the 22 pagers are not really worth it and there's too many advertisements. But I read I'm currently
reading... You regularly read comic books of every kind.
And not just Marvel, DC. Like, actually, out of the titles I read, I only read 3 that are from Marvel, DC combined.
Okay.
All the other ones I read are from Image Comics. Therefore, they're creator-owned, they're independent. So, Walking Dead, Invincible, a superhero comic right there. Outcast, I just named all my Robert Kirkman comics. Saga, Savage Dragon, Southern Bastards, that's one I'm really interested in. Mm-hmm. So, I read all over the place with comic books, and I find it more enjoyable than reading novels. So to say that to be a comic book fan is what you need in order to like this movie, you need to clear up your definition of what being a comic book fan means. Do you have to read only Marvel, DC? Okay, well, do you have to read, only Batman comics and Superman comics in order to like this movie? Okay, which comics? There's over 80 years of history with these characters.
Just these two alone,
Superman of the 1980s is not the same as Superman was in Action Comics issue 1 in 1938. So many different changes, so many different events, new characters, old characters, universe retcons. I mean, we just went through one in 2012, and supposedly we're going to have another one in 2016 with this DC Rebirth thing.
But even in all these variations, like you're saying, of just Superman and Batman alone, different versions, different things, their core character has never changed, has it? Like who they are as a character, like who they are as we know them?
If the core character, from what I understand, the core character of Superman has just been the perfect person.
Yeah.
He's the perfect human being. All he wants to do is good. All he wants to do is save people. And we should get excited when he saves people's lives from the burning building, saves babies from whatever.
The spaceship launch that failed, and hurricane disaster or tsunami disaster, whatever that was. But it wasn't who we know.
Oh, you're talking about scenes from the movie
now.
Yeah.
Because it's like, over all these years, what Travis is saying, the core concept of who Superman and Batman never really changed. Their environment changes maybe, but they're still the perfect guy, the guy who does good, and then the detective, who lets justice decide. But in this movie, that literally just got all swept in the wind.
Yeah, and then another thing, and this is going to be really divisive for Batman fans, because Batman kills people in this movie.
Brutally. Not just, I don't think
it's even worse in the dream sequence he has when he's I know it's a dream sequence, but he dreams about killing people horrifically.
But I think, since you actually brought that up, I do agree that him murdering people in the non-dream sequence that's not Batman. But what the dream sequence says, because it's telling a vision of the future, and since that future is post-apocalyptic, to me, once the world ends, to me, all morals end. So I think that's okay, him killing those people. And some of them were parademons.
We'll get to that the whole dream sequence
But
crap
you
in a
get,
bit.
you get what I mean, right, Travis?
Yeah, but still, okay. When
Yeah.
he kills people, here's the thing: the Batman we are brought up with, which includes the Bruce Timm animated series from the 1990s, as well as the DC animated universe, like the Justice League movies,
Justice League Unlimited,
the 2004
Justice
TV show, and various comics.
Nolan's idea, Burton's idea, all of those things.
Like I think it was in Death of the Family, which was
even in that one,
the story where the recent story that Scott Snyder wrote, in which Batman cuts his face off, or not Batman, Joker cuts his face off. Like, I think it might have been Nightwing that why don't you just kill him? Or it might have been an earlier story, but Batman was asked, why don't you just kill the Joker? Let it be over with. And he says, well, if I do that, I'm no worse than him, and what's to stop me from doing it again? Mm-hmm. That's the Batman we were brought up with. The Superman we were brought up with is a guy that's super powerful, and I remember in the last episode of Justice League Unlimited, remember when he was fighting Darkseid, and he has that line, like, I've always had to hold back because I didn't want to hurt people, but you can take the hit, can't you? And that always struck with me. It's very powerful, which is why it was a little jarring to see Superman more interested in punching Zod in Man of Steel rather than looking at the destruction around him and saying, oh shoot, we should probably take this fight somewhere else and at least attempt to do that. But the fact that this Superman didn't care was a little jarring.
And continue on in this, I guess you would say, unofficial sequel, because it is a sequel to Man of Steel.
It's a sequel. Just call it a sequel. It takes place afterwards.
He's the same way. He's the same way. He's not the Superman we know. I mean, I understand. I've always seen Superman and always overthinking and kind of brooding and kind of checking himself. Mm-hmm. But there was no joy, no leadership. It was just a guy who was like.
Not in this movie, no.
Yeah, no, and that's what the unfortunate thing to see about was in this movie, was that the characters that we all know and love and are how they were portrayed. That's not them in any way, shape, or form. Even how Wonder Woman was portrayed, even how Lex Luthor.
Wonder Woman was barely in it. So
she had no, but they still wasn't portrayed how we know. You know what I mean? Like they weren't.
That's because Wonder Woman made a bigger impact when she was there.
And even Martha Kent wasn't the Martha Kent we know.
Her line that we've seen in the trailers, because they showed everything in the trailers, pretty much. Her line about. Be their hero or don't be. You didn't owe this world a thing. That kind of pissed me off because
that's not Martha.
Well, Superman was a refugee, he does owe this world something.
Well, that
should be that should be part of his motivation why he wants to save people, because he cares about the Earth that adopted him. That this is his home. So yeah, he probably does. He probably should feel like he owes this world a thing. So it's a little jarring that his mother, his parents. Well, his parents are mishandled in these movies anyway. I didn't like Kevin Costner's portrayal. Well, I would like Kevin Costner. I didn't like how his character was written as Pa Kent. And Ma Kent, they made her just as bad. They aren't
what we know. They're not the ones who give...
It made me want to watch Smallville again. Say what you want about Smallville, but the family dynamic between Tom Welling...
between those characters.
Between the Kents... That was nice to see. That was like the big redeeming value of that show. And granted, the writing could be a little weird. There are a lot of dumb episodes here and there, but I'd rather watch Smallville than this.
Yeah, and now we're not gonna just. There are some good things about this movie and more of the technical side.
Zack Snyder decided to use a tripod finally, unlike in Man of Steel, where
the visuals, the visuals are always good, and in every Zack Snyder film, all his visuals are always on point. That's a fact. They're
pretty. I don't know if they're on point.
Well, they make you like this. That's a good looking shot kind of thing. Like they're good visual effects.
Yeah.
The choreography in the fights was good. That was handled well.
Yeah.
But then
fighting, that was cool.
Yeah, but then when we look back though at the very well choreographed fights, it's brutality of the way Batman fights like the criminals, because it's not like he knocks them out or pins them up against the wall or hangs them up from like a rope. He guns them down from his Batwing. He stabs a guy.
He stabs a guy in the chest, yes.
He bashes a guy's skull in with a crate. And actually more, if anything, when he's hand-to-hand fighting with the criminals, it's all head blows. it's never really chest, arm. I mean, he does break an arm, but he does all head blows. He even used a guy who was about to throw a grenade at him. Batman redirects it and blows up that guy with the grenade. Like the guy, literally, you see a guy get incinerated by the grenade. So it's like there was good stuff, but the good stuff that all I can say they were technical stuff, not the story, the meat.
I mean, I feel like the
juice.
Like another thing you could praise is that the actors were competent.
Oh, and all these actors are great actors.
Yeah,
that's
even Jesse Eisenberg, even though despite the fact he was miscast, either miscast or misdirected.
Well, and the thing, getting on to Lex Luthor, we all know that Lex Luthor is older than Superman by a decade at minimum, I'd say, or even more than that. Mm-hmm. He's always older. Why is he way younger than Superman in this one? That's not the Lex. First off. Lex is always bald. I don't care if he changes his hairstyle later on. He's always bald. But the problem I had the problem we had with this Lex, especially me, I really didn't like this Lex Luthor came off as socially awkward, possible atypical autism or Asperger's. That is not Lex at all.
He came off like a psychopath, and like I'm okay if you give Lex hair. I'm okay if you make him younger than Superman, but the whole psychopath thing,
no,
like
because he's a
businessman. He would either make a really good Riddler or a good Joker.
Yeah, that's what I saw more of a Riddler because of how he was wording stuff. Mm-hmm. So it'd be a Riddler.
And then some, but sometimes his speech, the way he talked got a little annoying. It was very creeper. Like when he's talking to the senator, there's just something about the way he behaved. Even though he didn't like touch her weird, it just felt kind of rapey. Mm-hmm. And then. When he's on the rooftop with Superman, and you could play a drinking game with how many times the word God is spoken, let alone how many times Lex says the word God.
Yeah, and because this Lex Luthor comes off really at the beginning. What I thought when he was saying gods, and what the trailer says is like he's relating Superman to a god because yes, into our mortal eyes, Superman is godlike, but he's not omniscient or can create life. He just has godlike powers in a sense. But then as it kept going and going, this Lex Luthor comes off as anti-religion, which is so like that's not like Lex has always been the businessman trying to make the best decisions, the best move, tactical. He's a chess player. Yeah. But all of a sudden, this one is like out to kill God, like not Superman, but like God.
I kind of wonder if Zack Snyder, because I know Zack Snyder, it really shows in this movie, but in Man of Steel as well, like he seemed to be really obsessed. Not in a good way, not in a way that seemed like he could do anything transformative with it. He probably thinks he's doing something transformative with it, but he's not. But he seems really obsessed with this idea that Superman is godlike, that Superman is similar, that like the Jesus connection, like he's our Messiah figure. And I wonder if Lex is supposed to be an allegory to atheists. if Zack Snyder thought atheists are like, this actually sounds a lot better than probably what the actual reasoning is. But like, I wonder if it would be funny if Lex Luthor is an allegory for like atheists are evil because they have no faith, they're heartless, and it shows because Lex Luthor talks about killing God and, man's gonna kill God, you're gonna be a false God, you can't be all powerful and all good, it's just impossible, and yet at the same time you can't be all good, yet have all the power in the world. So I don't know.
It was just weird because it just goes against who the character Lex Luthor is. It's not him.
You could probably make a Superman movie in which maybe you explore religious themes.
But that's with a different character, though. That Superman goes up against with or talks about.
Could be with a different character, or you could do that in a Superman story. Just get someone who actually knows how to tell stories instead of showing off cool, flashy visuals. Someone who cares more about story than storyboards.
And then another thing with going back to Batman, adding on, when reading up about this movie when it was first announced and when casting was going for Batman, because we already had the Superman, we just needed the other characters. Mm-hmm. They said this Batman, and Zack Snyder even was saying it, that this is the Batman who is out of his prime. He is the veteran. He did all the crime fighting in Gotham. He's retired. Time has passed. He's battled, weary, and withered. He's the veteran. It's almost like he's close to, almost like like this would have been in the timeline of the whole DC universe. This is right before, like, this is leading up to like the Batman Beyond years, where that's the Batman in the wheelchair.
Ooh.
Like he's getting towards that. He's
Nice
old.
there.
He's not that old, but this is like a decade away.
This is Dark Knight Returns Batman.
Yeah.
Presumably, I mean, I'll be honest. I've never actually read Dark Knight Returns. I've just read stuff on it because internet and everyone tells me I should read it, which I probably should. But I know what the gist is. It's about a much older Bruce Wayne coming back as Batman, and whether or not he kind of loses his prime or loses his way.
Yeah, because he has to get back into the game.
And we know that Dark Knight Returns was a heavy inspiration for this movie, although it seems like maybe the inspiration was just the Batman mech suit fighting Superman.
And that's one of the problems, is that if you're saying this is the Batman out of his prime, the veteran Batman, I'm not saying he's a bad actor. He's a great actor. You hired too much of a young-looking man.
You thought Ben Affleck shouldn't have been cast?
No, I don't think I'm not saying he can't be Batman. He just can't be this Batman because the dude just is too good looking. He's too young looking for his age. You can add as much gray as you want.
Yeah,
but he's too young. It's like, DiCaprio. DiCaprio's too young still to do old roles unless you put all these prosthetics on him, like for J. Edgar. For Batman, for this, Ben Affleck wasn't even added prosthetics. It was just his face. He's too young looking.
It's probably because they want to do more Batman solo movies, so they want to cast a youngish guy.
But that goes against what you're saying, like, this is our Batman out of his prime. Yeah. That goes against that. Mm-hmm. And then when Bruce Wayne gets back into the game as Batman, there's not even a montage or scene showing, Batman has returned. You just, all of a sudden, it's like...
All of a sudden, he's in the suit. Like, the big... Well, no, like that's before then.
But it's like he just... The way that people react to this Batman, fighting crime and everything, they're acting like this is the first time Batman's ever been on the streets. This is like the first appearance. Like, this is... Oh, wait, this new vigilante character named Batman just came out of nowhere. It's like no one's saying, he's back. There's no that shock and awe of such a critical, powerful figure coming back.
That actually brings up an interesting point, because Clark Kent says, it's talking about, we should really investigate this Batman character.
Yeah.
This Bat Vigilante. That's what he says. They keep calling him the Bat Vigilante.
Yeah. And Perry's like, no
one cares. It's just some creep. But if Batman's been around for a while, and
Perry would know about him.
Perry would know, and Perry would care.
He would have done stories on him back in the day.
So
he should have been saying, like, hey, the guy. You can even add the Batman who I did a story on. He's back. I know how to handle this.
Yes.
There's none of that.
Instead,
even the cops of Gotham are acting like this is some new figure. Not like when the cops see him, he's not like, oh my God, you're back. It's like, oh, who are you?
Yeah.
Everyone's acting like Batman just came out of the blue.
That's so weird, yeah. But it's obvious that Batman's had a history.
Because you see it in the Batcave with Robin's old outfit and the Joker's...
Joke's on you. And of course, no general audience members probably... Few general audience members are probably going to know what that is. They don't explain what that is. They just assume you've read, I think the story's called Death of the Family, the one where the second Robin, Jason Todd, dies. Not to be accused of Death...
in the Family.
No, wait, Death in the Family was Jason Todd's death. Death of the Family, that was written by Scott Snyder a couple years ago.
That's what it is. This movie just had a lot of continuity problems because you're acting like Batman's coming back. You don't show anything of, like, a montage of him, like, entering back into the crime-fighting world, and no one's acting and feeling the whole, like, he's back, holy crap. Because even Clark Kent, when as a younger kid during Batman's time as fighting crime, would have overheard it. The whole world.
Surely he would have known, yeah.
And then as a superhero, hearing that, it'd be like, Batman, I remember that guy. It was like, as a kid, so there's no feeling of he's returned.
The only reason why Batman is old is just fan service. Like, Batman is quote-unquote old.
Yeah.
And it's just fan service to justify why you're doing the fight, the Batman mech suit fight with Superman from The Dark Knight Returns, because that book had an older Batman, but there's really
old Batman.
Yeah, old Batman. But there's no reason why this Batman has to be old. Yeah. Obviously, by the casting.
He doesn't even have any... If going into it, and this might sound like nitpicking, but going deeper into this... this Batman doesn't even have any battle scars or like limps or fatigue about him. This Batman's still
Yeah.
pretty healthy, pretty in shape. Like, hey, I can still run and jog. There's no like
Same
feeling.
with Alfred, who's supposed to be like 20 years older. My sister pointed that out.
Oh yeah, that was
Jeremy Irons is great in
oh my
almost
gosh,
anything he's in. Even that Dungeons and
he-
Dragons movie.
Jeremy Irons is one of the like I think few phenomenal actors whose voice captivates you.
Scar.
A Scar,
Yeah.
Kingdom of Heaven, and that Man in the Iron Mask. But this one, it was like he could be a great Alfred. He could be,
Yeah.
but not this Alfred because this Alfred needs to be like probably in a wheelchair.
Should have just brought back Michael Caine.
But yeah, because of age-wise, because like this Alfred should be in the wheelchair. How old he is, and I'm surprised he's able to do.
He should be like, oh, I'm getting too old for
like
this.
a vein caught up, an IV hooked up. But there's a lot of the universe that were presented here in this adaptation of these heroes. You say this is so much, and all the stuff leading up to it, reviews, interviews, and all that behind the scenes stuff leading up to the release. None of that shows in this movie. None of that. It's just more Batman's on a warpath. He's more not. Even though he says in the movie Bruce Wayne that if there's even like a 1% chance that he could like hurt us, we got to take that as 100%. We got to destroy him, and they're like, it's more. It's a personal thing because Wayne Towers in Gotham got cut in half. It's almost like a 9/11 feel. Like he's just hated.
Oh yeah,
because it's like he's just
lots of 9/11 imagery.
Because
he's
just
gentlemen.
mad at the fact that the people who worked for him and he knew and one of his buildings got destroyed, and he just wants revenge for that, not for like he might destroy us all. It's more of like he destroyed my thing. He took away my thing.
He destroyed my thing, and therefore he could destroy us all. Granted, the only reason probably a lot of people died in that building is because as he was driving in his nice 2016 Jeep Renegade, you've seen those commercials. It's literally that scene, literally that commercial in the second scene. So that took me out of the movie. But he's like, you gotta get everyone out of the building, and it's like the exec that he's talking to is on the top floor. He's looking out the window, and all the buildings are coming down from that gravity terraforming machine. He's like, oh, okay, everyone go, and I'm thinking, you're just thinking of this now.
And this is like towards the end of the fight of the Superman and Zod's fight.
Yes, it is towards the end of the fight.
That's when they leave. Yeah, so it's just a lot of like. It wasn't well written. When it comes down to it, it's not about the directing. It's from the beginning because you don't just direct a movie without a script. It's the script first.
It's the script first. Although Zack Snyder had a lot of say in what went on. He didn't get a writing credit. That's what I mean. I'm not saying it's not the directing part. It's all writing. Mm-hmm. It comes down to the writing wasn't well connected. Wasn't done. There was some good lines. Really, there was like 3 lines that I liked because when I heard them, when you just look at the line in front of you and you hear it and you say it yourself, those are great lines. But that was like a couple of good things in a sea of just crap. Most of the dialogue was super pretentious.
Yeah, and it was
super wordy and droning, and I thought. I mean, I was joking with my family last night. Wouldn't it be funny? And of course, part of my family is my sister who went to see it with us. I said, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it just be great if Joss Whedon wrote this?
Yeah, but actually, you know what? You brought that up, and that actually I've been thinking about this. I've been wanting to say this, Travis. If you think about it, even though the writing was bad, at least to some degree, they kept to how these characters do converse with each other. It's never banter, it's one lines or an actual dialogue monologue conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
the line, yeah.
This isn't me going now. Don't take this as I'm going back on what I'm saying about the writing. It's just that the one thing that in a sense held with this writing, because it's not that hard to do for this type of writing. Marvel, as we all know now for sure, it's all about the banter between their characters.
Yeah.
But in the DC universe, it's either someone like not lecturing but teaching, conversing, having a deep conversation, or a one-liner. Not bantering with each other ever. It's a one-liner thing. It's snappy, quick remarks. That's it at most.
Yeah, well,
but
with their movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that there were moments of that, but it still didn't overshadow what really the writing was, which was poorly written, poorly connected, just trying. It felt like the characters weren't organically moving the story along. It was the screenwriters going like, okay, we know what we need to do next. How do we just get to that point? It's not like these characters would do that. And that's the thing, like
It's more than that, because the dialogue was just very wordy unto itself, and not in a good way. So it's more than just simply we need to get to the next scene, which is not a very good way to write a screenplay. You should kind of know where you're going.
And it is, and then also too, and we see this as a sequel to Man of Steel, yet it's actually a Batman movie if you think about it. It's more Batman because it starts off with Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed in the alleyway.
Oh boy!
It starts that off, and like we all know that story. It really isn't necessary to see, but then
actually, it's very unnecessary for the movie in a very specific way because that entire first scene, that first montage scene, was totally unnecessary because it cut from the scene, like the parents dying, fade to black. Fade to like Bruce running away from the funeral, and eventually him falling into the cave and being surrounded by bats and floating up, which is where we were going.
Yeah.
Until you hear Ben Affleck's monologue. I see this in my dreams and all of that.
Yeah.
But that served no purpose.
No, it didn't.
And it serves that entire scene serves no purpose even more because. We're going to spoil this movie, right?
No, we're going to talk about it. We're talking about it, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just get to the scene where Superman says, I need to save Martha! And then he's like, Martha, why'd you say Martha? And then it flashes back to that scene again. Just in case you forgot the opening scene, we're going to show it to you again. So they could have just cut that part out.
Yeah.
This movie, supposedly the R-rated cut is 3.5 hours long, but of course... First of all, you can't do an R-rated cut of a Batman vs. Superman movie in the theaters. Well, actually, I don't know. Deadpool kind of proved that wrong.
You could,
but
it's just...
they're not going to risk it. And you could have saved some time by cutting out every single goddamn dream sequence in this movie. None of them served any purpose.
And the last dream sequence was actually the most confusing because... When he woke up from a dream within a dream, like he has a dream
Bruce
within
Wayne?
a dream. Like Bruce dreams again. He has a dream within a dream, and when he wakes up from the inner dream,
which was the desert thing,
it was the post-apocalyptic Earth. When he wakes up from that inner dream, he has an encounter with a time traveler, and the thing is, what is led to believe that's Flash.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, Flash can't travel through dreams; he travels through time.
And you know it's a dream because Bruce Wayne wakes up again.
Yeah.
And it's like a deja vu moment.
And what adds more to the confusion is in this movie alone, just this movie where we're getting introduced to the Justice League, because they do show other Justice League members.
Very heavy.
They show us 2 Flashes in one movie.
Yeah, you think that was a different Flash than Ezra Miller?
It is. It's 2 completely distinctive Flashes, and
I couldn't tell who that was, but yeah. I just thought it was Ezra Miller, the guy who's playing movie Flash.
The way this obviously time traveling Flash's suit looked like, I was thinking, I'm like, why the hell is Red Hood in this? That's how it looked until I had to keep staring at it until the end. I'm like, oh, that's not Red Hood, but who is that? And then you have to read up on it. And that's what's confusing. It's like if you're giving
there you go. You have to read up on it. Yeah, no, we're not going to give you the information. You have to be a comic book fan to understand it.
And not even a comic book fan would have to understand. I feel like a comic fan would have to recheck stuff afterwards. They wouldn't know that from personal knowledge.
No, and here's the thing. Here's why Marvel's method works. It's welcoming for fans and non-fans. Non-fans can follow the story. They can follow what's going on. Yeah. And if they watch the movies in order, they'll understand what's going on. It's the only reward that the fans get is little Easter eggs and hints here and there, and red herrings and foreshadowings, that kind of thing that only they'll understand. But it doesn't get in the way of the overall enjoyment of the movie. It's not like those stop the movie in order to show one little thing and then go on. Mm-hmm. I mean, the closest thing I would think was maybe the Ragnarok scene in Age of Ultron.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
But even then, here's
the thing. For that one, I mean, I knew there was a third Thor, but I was thinking like, oh, this is just a setup for another Thor movie. Okay, I mean, I didn't know exactly it was like the Viking apocalypse, because that's what Ragnarok basically is and all that.
Something like that.
It was just like, oh, it's a setup. So that just kind of proves Travis' point. Like you don't need to know anything except just the names of who they are, because no one who, even if like you've never read a comic book in your life, before the Avengers thing started off with Iron Man, we all knew who Captain America was to a degree. We all knew who Iron Man was to a degree. We all know who Hulk. We all know who, and that's what was what Travis is getting with Marvel.
Yeah. You can watch the first Avengers movie without having to watch any of the previous standalone movies.
You can do the second Avengers movie. You don't have to watch the first one.
True.
All their movies are standalone.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
And, I mean, well, up until for now.
I mean, they reference previous events. So
for now, they're all. I mean, until more come out. Obviously, we don't know how they are the new ones coming out. But so far, every single Marvel movie is a standalone.
Yeah, little exceptions. Like I doubt Captain Civil War is gonna be standalone. No. I think you kind of have to watch the previous Avengers movies and the previous Cap movies. But
it's just it's unfortunate to see. What we're getting at, it's unfortunate to see that with the DC version, which I'm a DC boy at heart. I grew up on the Batman and Superman animated show. Yes, I watched some of the Superman stuff, and I think there was like one Avenger cartoon movie, but I grew up on DC. Yes, I haven't read the comic books. I skim through them. I look at them. I read chunks, but I mostly grew up on the DC's animated show, and it's sad to see that when you get such a big budget, it's such a big movie, it's all done
3 years to work on it.
You got big name actors, you got people who you've seen in other movies growing up that are amazing actors, and it's sad to, it kind of hurts a little to see it fall flat because of what you grew up on. Like I know Batman is the crime fighter, he lets justice decide if someone dies or doesn't die. Superman struggles with if he kills someone. He knows he might have to kill like someone who's really evil, but he'll struggle with it.
Yeah, he won't like doing it.
And then
established before that.
And then this one is kind of like that's not my Batman. What comes down to why we didn't like it. That's not our Batman. That's not our Superman. That's not our Wonder Woman. That's not our Lex. That's not our Martha Kent. And Martha Kent's not a hard character to do, really. It's simple. Her character's the most simplest one in this movie.
Yeah, but she's
not. And there's a continuity problem again with her because Superman has only one dream sequence when he runs into his dad again. Kevin Costner has a cameo, and what Kevin Costner says about Martha is that she's the one who made him see the joy again, the life again, the humanity again, the reason to keep going for people. Yet 30 minutes before that, she says, you don't owe anyone anything. You do whatever you want or don't. But she's more signing on, don't do anything. So it's like, it's weird. It's like, a lot of that's weird. And what another problem was...
the dream sequences don't matter.
Yeah.
They don't matter at all. Like, just now I finally remembered what he said. Because I knew there was a dream sequence with Pa Kent.
Yeah.
But... I forgot what that was until you brought it up.
Because it was nothing.
It was nothing. It had nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
And it's like when you see, first of all, why Clark was walking in the Arctic was such a weird start, because it just starts off with him walking in the snow. It's like, oh, if you're heading to the Fortress of Solitude, why aren't you flying? Why are you literally walking to the Fortress of Solitude?
That's true, because it doesn't show him wake up either.
And he doesn't even get to the Fortress of Solitude. He's just walking in like the Himalaya. It looks like the Himalayas.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're not flying, you're walking.
So apparently that actually happened. He was walking in the mountains.
And he just might have just a vision.
I don't know why he was doing that.
Yeah, that's why. There's a lot of stuff that didn't need to be done. And the only purposes that the dream sequence for Batman for when he dreamed about the apocalypse was just to hint that we know Darkseid's coming in the Justice League Part 1 and 2. It's just
even that didn't make sense. Like, how is it that Batman is getting dreams of Darkseid? Is there someone doing psychic communication with him? If there is, I'd be interested to know. I think that would have been a nice setup. And the same thing with Lex Luthor going nuts in the cell, ring ding ding, like Darkseid, pretty much saying Darkseid is coming, and then the Flash saying Lois is the key, which Lois didn't do anything that made her significant for that to mean anything.
You saying that actually about Lex, I read up about it, because Lex in the end he's the one who basically adds more to he's coming, the bell's been rung.
Which that wasn't set up at all.
A scene was cut from the movie that shows Lex when he's in the Kryptonian ship, learning from the archives. Because there's a scene in the movie where he says, "I want to teach me everything." There's a scene that was cut from the movie that shows Lex talking to what is believed to be Darkseid's second in command.
Yeah.
That would have been great to have, because then that would have led more to like, oh, that's how he knows. Not like, wait, how does he know about Darkseid? Oh, I think we got to really go back and be like, wait, was there a scene of him saying like, I want to learn everything from the archives? I think there was. No, add on that like, dude, he's talking to Darkseid's second in command. That's huge.
Well, maybe if they cut the dream sequences, they'd have had more time for that scene.
Yeah,
it's just... oh well, if it's not in the movie, it's not in the movie. I don't care what the R-rated Ultimate cut has. It's not in the movie, as far as I'm concerned. It's not the theatrically released movie, which is the one that's really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. There are more DC movies that are connected to this one that are coming out, and I hope they're good. I mean, so far some of them do. We can't say anything until we see them.
Yeah, I know, but I'm having bad hopes about Suicide Squad since they just announced, it was just revealed today that they're doing reshoots on that right now, and the movie comes out 5 months from now because they wanted to make the movie more fun, which is kind of confusing because I thought the only reason they greenlit Suicide Squad was just because Guardians of the Galaxy worked.
Yeah.
I mean, even the new trailer with the Bohemian Rhapsody, it was like, oh, we can do a 70s song too, just like in the Guardians trailer. So I thought, wait, what was the thinking behind the movie? What was the movie supposed to be like?
Yeah.
And are there going to be like shitty looking special effects scenes? Mm-hmm. Because those are the reshoots?
And, yeah.
Morons.
And there's also parts in the movie where obviously Lex is the main bad guy. Even though they show Doomsday, it's still Lex is the mastermind.
Because Doomsday is such a
we all know what Doomsday means when he's shown. We all know that. But Lex sets off has like 4 plans he executes before his big one.
I'm so glad we got to this.
And only the first one works perfectly. Yet the other 3 fall flat on their faces, which makes no sense because the first one should have been like a little like, how did that? Should have been more of like that didn't work out. Let me try it again. Yet the next, because all the 4 little plans he executes before his big one is to basically make Superman look bad in the light of everyone, make the world hate Superman. That works for the first one where people question him like, oh my god, he's a killer. Second one. It doesn't go on to Superman because he's the one who survives the explosion. It goes on a guy who actually was not the trigger man, but had the bomb strapped to him unknowingly. But it fell on the innocent victim who had a bomb strapped to him unknowingly. That fell flat.
Also, they blew up Congress.
Oh, yeah.
They blew up the Capitol building from the inside.
And no reaction.
And they never go back to that. There's nothing like...
There's no global reaction.
There's no global reaction. No.
Like Batman coming back into the game.
Yeah.
There's no reaction, and then he has another plan. That's what is to get the two Superman and Batman to fight, and that really falls flat. And then his last plan is with Doomsday, and Doomsday almost attacks him. Superman has to save Lex from that.
Yeah, he makes a big thing of like, blood of my blood. See, I mixed my blood into Zod's body and used it to make this creature. It's like, okay, well that doesn't...
But you don't control it.
That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, you don't control the monster. It's
just a lot of things that fall flat. And then another thing...
And the movie doesn't even point out that... It's not like Lex gets frustrated or anything. Like,
no.
It didn't work! It didn't work! He thinks his plan is going perfectly.
In his head...
I think Zack Snyder thinks his plan is going perfectly, because I think a lot of this is just... Here's a cool moment. Here's a cool shot. Here's something cool.
It's like
now write a script to make that happen.
Yeah, it just didn't work. And then one character we didn't talk about much, Wonder Woman. She really, she's a part of the Trinity, which you got to have her in. I understand she's a part of the Trinity. That's a big thing. Can't have Justice League without her. No. But her character, when we because this is the first time she's introduced that leads up to her standalone film. She didn't need to be in the film.
No,
because
she was.
The only reason she's in the film is because she's trying to hunt down a pitcher that belongs to her, a pitcher. Yet, in other scenes, and before she gets that picture, she's actually collecting artifacts that she even knows are fake artifacts. So it's like, why are you then parading around in most of this movie in designer, beautiful dresses?
Well, it's like it seems like what she really wanted was to what she really wanted was to get the files on those, like, her and those 3 other future Justice League members. So there's a file on her, there's a file on Flash, there's a file on Aquaman, and there's a file on Cyborg, and
But here's the thing, though.
And they all have logos, too. They
here's
all
the thing,
have cute little logos.
Batman has access to that thing before Wonder Woman does. So you could have cut her out, because
she takes it and then she says, "I'll give it back to you."
Yeah, but she
didn't need that either.
But she couldn't get to it because it was encrypted. And what I'm saying is, like, her character introduced us to 3 other Justice League members, when yet Bruce himself could have done that himself. Mm-hmm. So Bruce could have introduced her. So it just, because he's a detective, so it made more sense.
Yeah,
a lot of this just
there were the appearances of those, the way they showed those were so heavy-handed. Aquaman was the dumbest because he took
forever.
He comes out like it's a camera. You assume it's the Titanic. It's like a shipwreckage, and he has his trident out, and he moves so freaking slow. Like, I thought he was gonna wave to the camera. He's like, and then he slowly plunges his trident into the camera, and then it
speeds
goes static,
off like a bullet.
And then bye. Yeah. And then Cyborg.
It just shows how he became Cyborg, but from the mother box.
Yeah, and then Flash shows this.
He's a punk kid just buying alcohol, and he just does one nice thing.
Yeah, because like some guy was gonna rob the store, and then he like
takes out
speeds, ties him up or whatever. Doesn't even show him in costume or anything.
No, he's not. He's actually the only one not in costume.
True, unless that was him in the dream sequence.
No, that wasn't him, because that did not look like that actor at all. Ezra. That did not look like Ezra.
Miller. Whatever. Well, that kind of looked like he had long, dark hair.
He looked more
with
black or Asian. Like, he didn't look pale.
Whatever.
Because Ezra Miller's pale. That's why a lot of this.
Really, he looked kind of pale to me. But whatever. That scene is meaningless.
Yeah, and then one thing. There's two. I know it sounds like it's nitpicking, but when you go see this movie, it's not. Batman. Batman, when he's fighting these before he murders these group of criminals, people are firing their guns at him, and they bounce off his suit. And I'm like, okay, I can believe Batman has a suit of armor. Mm-hmm. I can believe that his whole head to toe bulletproof except his jaw.
Yeah.
And like, even a guy's like a centimeter away from his skull fires his pistol, and it just ricochets off him.
Yeah.
Yet a knife penetrates. Batman gets stabbed. A knife penetrates his armor, yet bullets don't at close range. And the fact that
he walked it off, it's okay.
Yeah, and then Wonder Woman, she has her shield, she has the lasso of truth, she has her what would you call them, the cufflinks?
Yes.
And she has her sword. I can believe the cufflinks blocking Doomsday's laser beam and then making a shockwave thing. I'm like, all right, I can believe their shield for sure blocking the shock blast radius that Doomsday does every time he basically sheds his skin. Mm-hmm. I can believe the lasso of truth holding on to anyone, because it's the lasso of truth. These are her character, even though she has superpower, she's super strong, speed, everything. She has electronical invisible plane or jet. Her character still has that more mystical, magical feel to her. Mm-hmm. So she does have magical elements. But her sword, for like 90% of the effing fight, ricochets and dings and sparks off of Doomsday's skin, yet at the end she's able to cut off his arm. He's cut off his forearm.
I think that was like, I think he was actually able to cut into him, because I think they look like slice marks. The thing is, the slice marks like glowed.
But they ding. They went ding, ding. Like, they were like scratch marks. It was scratch. I saw sparks.
Yeah, there's scratch marks.
But then all of a sudden she does one little war cry and he cuts off his forearm. I'm like, okay, yet for the whole movie, they drill into the audience's head, kryptonite's the only thing that can penetrate a Kryptonian because it weakens itself. Because the kryptonite spear was nowhere near Doomsday when he got cut.
Why couldn't she just stab him?
Why, yeah, if she grabbed the spear and did that, okay.
No, she could have just stabbed him with her sword. If she could cut off Darkseid's hand, or it's not Darkseid,
Doomsday's forearm.
Doomsday's forearm. She could just like plunge the sword into his heart, and that'd be it.
Yeah, and so that was like, so why her sword was only able to cut off his forearm because of reasons.
Because of reasons.
And then the whole And then
I don't even know if that was like even scripted at all, or if it was just
wasn't.
I don't know how much of that fight was scripted, or how much of that fight was just up to Zack Snyder's discretion.
And the fact that all three characters get their asses, like, they don't get defeated, but they take a brutal beating. No one has a scratch mark on them.
Yeah.
And every time I've seen Batman and Wonder Woman in an intense fight, their lip is at minimum bleeding. Mm-hmm. This is a PG-13 film. You can show people getting really messed up.
Yeah.
Because you first show Batman mowing people down and stabbing a dude, a grenade going off and bashing people's skulls. In this one, Batman has a bolt-action wooden sniper rifle.
Yeah, that he only uses to shoot a tracking device.
Which he could have done with like a little thing on his wrist or from his utility belt. Or the grappling gun changed it into that. But no, it's a wooden bolt-action sniper rifle.
Yeah, and it's weird because, like, in the fight between Batman and Superman, Batman, like, holds Superman down, but it's not until he, like, slices a scar on his face that's like, oh, now you bleed.
Even though when you were weakened by the kryptonite gas grenades, I was beating the hell out of you. Mm-hmm. But with metal. With metal.
Yeah. That was dumb. The whole thing where he's like, Martha, I need to save Martha because Lex Luthor has Martha Kent, and tells Superman, you have an hour to kill Batman, or I will kill your mom.
And in half the dialogue between Superman and Lex Luthor takes almost 30 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which that didn't make sense either.
And the problem is that these characters don't say what needs to be said. They take their time.
Well, also, I think that's just a continuity problem. Yeah, like, 30 minutes, but that too, when he goes to Batman, he's like, you don't understand! And
push!
Then Batman, like, attack. No, you don't understand! Attack!
No, you really don't understand. I'm gonna beat you.
And then he attacks, and then he just goes and says, stand down! If I wanted it, you'd be dead already. You could have said your point that my mother's in trouble, I need you to help me. And then it's not until he pins down that he says, he doesn't even say what a normal person would say. A normal person raised in Kansas would say.
What a boy would say.
What a boy would say, which is, I need to save my mom.
No. Yeah.
He says, I need to save Martha. He never calls his mother Martha.
No.
It doesn't matter if it's his adoptive mother.
Yeah.
That's the only mother he's known.
Yeah. No boy says to his mother by their first name unless they have a really, really shitty relationship. And obviously Martha Kent and Clark Kent don't have one.
And the only reason he did that was script-wise, was just so Batman could stop, and then he'd have that moment like, Martha, that's my mother's name. What? But
and that's the only line.
I don't think Superman knew that.
No.
I mean, I think he knew like who he was, like Bruce Wayne.
Towards the very...
Somehow he figured that out.
But that's nothing.
It didn't show him like researching like...
No, because he's not a detective.
Oh, he lost a mother, and then...
My mother's kidnapped.
He didn't, like, make that... There was no way.
There's just a lot...
I mean, if that was the reasoning, it was not established in the movie. You can just only assume, a.k.a. lying to yourself.
They do leave a little bit, way too much for us to connect the dots to, which is that's not good storytelling. That's just...
No, that's lazy.
Yeah.
Very lazy.
So really what it comes down to, I know we've kind of been going on about this in not a good light.
No.
But it's unfortunate. It is true. If you do see this movie... Go see it for yourself to make your own opinion, obviously. If you want to see it for yourself, go see it for yourself. Don't let us stop you from seeing it.
If you want to see it.
But from wanting to see it. But the unfortunate fact is this is not the heroes we know and love and treasure as national and almost global icons.
Well, they're just not superheroes.
No.
They're not doing heroic things. And when they do,
they're
not portrayed as positive things. They're portrayed as like a burden. And the only reason that you need to stop Doomsday is because I guess Doomsday is gonna destroy kill more people, but there's no immediate stakes.
So overall,
just a bunch of destruction.
This is a 1 out of 4 star film for me. I don't care how good your special effects are. You can't. That doesn't shy away from the meat of the real meat of the movie, and there's not any meat. It's So, 1 out of 4 stars. Travis.
If you really want to watch some fun, exciting DC stuff, Go watch the Greg Berlanti produced TV shows. So we're talking Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Those shows are actually kind of fun. They may be for a fraction of the budget of this film, but the writing makes up for it, and you actually like the characters a lot better. I mean, the night before we saw this movie, I'd watched the Supergirl Flash crossover. Only 43 minutes. It was light, fun, couple of stupid parts at a few places, but I had so much more fun watching that movie, or watching that show, than watching this.
And just because this movie's made almost half a bill doesn't make it good. Any movie that has big special effects can make its budget back easily.
Transformers.
We've seen that. We've seen that throughout history and time. That doesn't mean anything that this movie's made over $500 million, that it's great. That doesn't mean jack. So, yeah, that from combo number 2 wasn't
looking forward to the Justice League.
Didn't help us get psyched for Justice League, and
nope.
I guess it's safe to say this is a DC friendly place too. Like, we love DC a lot.
Yeah,
and
you especially do. I consider myself more of a Marvel guy, but I had nothing against DC and their comics.
Coming from the DC guy who loves DC and the guy who respects DC, Travis, this ain't our DC.
No.
So, but want to say thank you for joining us on this one. Like I said, if you want to, go see it. Then you'll see what we're talking about. So, for all of us here at Combo number 2, thanks again for joining us. Once again, Tom Flores.
Travis Baker.
Catch you on the next time. Bye.
Bye.